Going on to y'all. So y'all actually have the Six of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and then you also have the Five of Pentacles. So what's going on here for you is that obviously Six of Cups, the X is back. Ten of, they reach out. Ten of Wands, Five of Pentacles. No, no, no. You do not talk to them. A lot of you do not talk to them, not based upon me commanding you, but based upon you already having in your head, there's ultimately nothing to say, essentially. And so what's going on here for you is that a lot of you understand what type of time it is. This is something, the two of you already know where this thing is going to end. You already know where it's going to end. You've already tried it with them. You don't want to try it again with them, and you don't see the point in trying it with them. And so, again, right, Five of Pentacles, you've already tried to make it work with them. They didn't want to get along with you, right? The two of y'all couldn't see eye to eye, and a lot of you don't want to have that around you. So guess what you did? You stopped talking to them. The two of you had a falling out, and y'all, like I said, to piggyback off of the last reading that I did for you, y'all are on retirement. Y'all are on vacation. Y'all have retired, regardless of whether it's from a 9-to-5 job or, maybe it is from a 9-to-5 job, whatever your situation is. Maybe you got up in age and you reached at a certain point. Maybe y'all are still very much so young, but you reached at a certain point very quickly because you understood money. You understood what you needed to do. The secret, or the secrets, was revealed to you at a very young age, or you figured it out, you discovered it, and you've been basically practicing it at a very fast pace. And, you've afforded yourself the luxury of retiring early, right? I didn't find this out until I was 28 going on 29. You dig what I'm saying? In 2020, the early part of 2020, like January, February. And so the next step for you, so now what's happening here is that the Two of Swords and the Five of Swords, right? Which represents how, so you don't want to have anything to do with them because you're done. You're retired. You don't have to put up with the dysfunction that they want you to put up with, right? You're busy enjoying your life. So them coming back is kind of weird because the Two of Swords is, they try to pick an argument with you and bicker with you and stuff like this. And the Five of Swords, do not spend your time arguing with them because that's them being emotional and trying to get your attention. My suggestion, what y'all should do is to stay away from them and let them be as stupid as they want to be. If they choose to be stupid, if they choose to act like they don't have any kind of common sense, let them do that. Because the situation for you is that y'all have too much fun to be had, right? Regardless of whether you retired or you didn't retire, is irrelevant because you're supposed to move on with your life. You're supposed to not be worried about what goofy goobers, so to speak, have got going on. You know what I mean? So now you have the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands here. So these two cards right here for you represent how you're in a situation where the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands, the Knight of Wands speaks to, again, you're not supposed to stop just because, right? Just because this person is in the way and they're on your nerves, you're not supposed to stop having your fun. A lot of you, that's one of the things that y'all gotta get over, is that you're in a situation right now where you have people who you are allowing to get on your nerves due to the fact that you just allow them to have way too much power, right? And a lot of y'all probably asking yourselves, well, what do you mean? Well, you even allow these people to even bait you into an argument. You know what I mean? It's like, how many times have you engaged with this person, right? Dozens, maybe even more than 100 times. You know what type of time this person is on. This person is just trying to waste your time, to piggyback off of what it is that I said more than a few readings ago for y'all. To them, sometimes negative attention is better than no attention whatsoever. So I mean, y'all know this, right? I told it to y'all. Y'all know this. So it's like, what exactly would be the point of y'all going back and forth with one another in the first place, right? You shouldn't allow yourself to go back and forth at all. And so now you have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands right here, is not only that too, but again, you could do whatever you want to do. Like, do you really want to spend a lot of your time arguing with this person, right? Then you have the King of Wands. The King of Wands, the Hierophant for y'all, and then you also have the Five of Cups. So, okay, cool. The King of Wands ultimately speaks about how, like, right, like you're doing just fine without them. You know, you're doing just fine without getting into arguments with them, right? It gets to a point where when you argue and bicker with people, you understand a lot of the times that the majority of the arguing is useless because people are doing it as a means of, let's make things more exciting, right? Let's make things more exciting. I gotta excite you type stuff. But is it actually exciting? No, it's just stupid at the end of the day. And this is what has a lot of people single as a mug because of these goofy games that people be playing in and out of relationships, thinking that they're gonna play games with people and people are toys and I don't know, whatever the situation is and whatever it is. Anyway, so now you have the Hierophant and the Five of Cups. So so what's going on here for you is that y'all are in a situation where y'all also, right, the Hierophant and the Five of Cups, again, you're listening to yourself. You know that it's useless trying to bicker and argue, because how many times have you bickered and argued with this person? You feel me? You know, this person is trying to bait you into an argument and all of that, saying some goofy stuff. Got to get to a point where you're like, whatever. Because you know strategically, if you know, you got to play chess instead of checkers. You know, they're just trying to get you into an argument to do what? To do what? What are they trying to do exactly? Right? What are they trying to do? Just being delusional, wanting to bicker and argue all over the place. And so now you're in a situation where the Five of Cups right here is about how a lot of you, right, you're listening to yourself. That's why you don't even care. Because I see a lot of you not caring. I see a lot of you not even like responding, not saying anything back. But again, and the reason why is because you see it for what it is and immediately passing that S test, looking at it and being like, right. Well, moving forward and proceeding to move forward. And then you have the Hierophant and the Five of Cups, right? Even furthermore than that, even furthermore, not taking them seriously, moving forward and living your life, right? In continuing to enjoy yourself. Some of you may be thinking about going on a trip to a different country with clear blue-green water. You understand what I'm saying? It's beautiful. You understand what I'm saying? And chilling and living your life and doing your thing, right? You know, on jet skis. You know, you don't have the time for that. You feel me? You do not have the time. You do not have the time for that type of stuff. And yeah, you don't have the time for that. Y'all don't, you know, dealing with somebody that comes back and is constantly looking to let's clarify the Hierophant. The Nine of Wands, right. The Tower. This is what I'm talking about. Ten of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and then you have the Eight of Wands. The Nine of Wands, the Tower, and the Ten of Wands are all about how they are, again, pressed. over just how things are not working. It's like you're not even listening to them. You're like, ah, yeah, whatever, whatever. Yeah, not engaging, not doing any of that. So now it's like they look stupid talking to themselves because this is not an act. You're not, excuse me, you're not like running a game. This is not an act. This is not, y'all trying to gain attention by ignoring them and because sometimes people will try to do that too. You are moving forward, right? You are moving forward. And so like what do they expect you to do? You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just really, I'm gonna just be honest, it's just really stupid. Like what do they expect you to do? And this is a clear case of people who really don't want you to move on, but at the same time don't want to do right by you, right? I've had that a couple of times, a little, a few times, in my life myself. The person doesn't want to do right, but at the same time they still want to do their own thing. And it's like, listen, my style. That when it comes to these interactions, I don't keep people around a very long time if they're not showing me any kind of improvement. This. I've told it to you. You're not the exception. You know what I mean? And they were upset about that. But it is what it is because it's the truth. And then again, the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Wands, right? The Seven of Cups is their own delusion, right? But it also represents your truth as well. The Seven of Cups is their delusion that you don't have things to do. The Seven of Cups also represents the facts that you actually do have things to do. And like I said before, when you have a life to live, it is amazing when you have a life to live. Because when you have a life to live, it's like, you're going to move forward regardless of your life. You know what I mean? You're going to move forward regardless of whatever situation specifically that happened in your life, right? If something happens where a person is like bickering and arguing with you, like how this person is moving, are you really going to spend all this amount of time talking back and forth and bickering? The answer is more than likely you won't. You'll just keep moving forward, live your life as you are supposed to be doing, and enjoy your life because you only have one life to live, right? In that sense, right? YOLO, in that sense, right? But in an appropriate fashion. And then you have the Eight of Wands here, which represents, like a lot of you still have things that y'all want to do, right? Once again, it's like that analogy of a person who's stuck in one neighborhood and will probably be stuck in one neighborhood for the majority of their life versus a person who can pretty much travel pretty much anywhere that they want because things are in good standing with them. So it's like you can go anywhere you want to. That's permitted pretty much, right? You can pretty much go practically anywhere. Like, what do you want to do? It's really up to you at this point, right? It really is. The only limit is your imagination at this point, right? And they're like stuck and they're like upset at the fact that they are stuck. So what do they have to do? Oh, y'all are, I got to get you into an argument. It's like, right, but at the end of the day, y'all still have things that y'all could do and all that stuff. And you still have places that you're going to go and all of that. So it doesn't really matter. But that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We are at 27,091 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever it is that I drop my videos. Also, too, come through and get a personal reading from me. The link to that is in the comment section below called a Linktree link. And the development of my video game, right? I'm supposedly gonna get like a prototype version of what the video game. I'm supposedly gonna get a prototype version of the video game today, right? Later on tonight. So we'll see. I am keeping it mindful of the 90-day kind of thing. So Like I said, I gave this person by the end of the month this month, so they better come up with something. Otherwise, I'm gonna take my money back. But uh, let's see if they can actually come through with it instead of playing games. Because I already let the person know, like, hey, because for me, I understand that my reputation is on the line. Not necessarily a whole bunch, but I would like to say certain things to y'all and actually follow through with it. But we'll see, though. I'll let y'all know when. I'll keep y'all posted. Peace. Have a good one.